Do you know there's actually another integer between 3 and 4? If we could calculate this number, we would transition from 3-dimensional space into 4-dimensional space, thereby achieving time-space travel. This was a conjecture proposed by a brilliant mathematician, but no one believed him. Everyone suspected he had lost his mind. Because of this, the mathematician was eventually committed to a psychiatric hospital. To correct his point, the psychologist spilled a jar of candy on the table, attempting to have him use the candy to arrange this supposedly non-existent integer. The mathematician quickly arranged the first 3 candies in sequence, but when he picked up the 4th candy, he suddenly froze. His mind went blank. His eyes became unfocused and wandering. After struggling for a long time, he found that he simply couldn't arrange it. The psychologist told him to face reality, but unexpectedly, the professor suddenly became agitated. He claimed that some mysterious force was preventing him, then pleaded with the doctor for a pen, wanting to use formulas to derive that number. The doctor refused without hesitation. He didn't want the mathematician to sink deeper into his delusion. However, the professor spotted a marker that had fallen to the floor. He quickly picked it up when the doctor wasn't looking, then grabbed a handful of candies and stuffed them in his mouth before being taken away by the orderlies. From that moment on, things began spiraling out of control. When the doctor finished work and entered the elevator, he keenly sensed something was amiss. The elevator initially operated normally, reaching the 4th floor, but the descent from the 4th to the 3rd floor took an unusually long time. This reminded him of the mathematician's conjecture. After returning home, the troubled doctor replayed the consultation recording. The mathematician had told him that he wasn't the first to discover this conjecture. Others had simply kept the numbers secret. This was also the real reason people burned Galileo. Beyond the space we perceive with our senses, this universe contains 7 other dimensions beyond our reach. Compared to these dimensions, humans are like ants. No matter where they crawl, they can only perceive the plane and cannot access 3-dimensional space. That integer between 3 and 4 is precisely the key that would allow humanity to transcend spatial dimensions. These words left the doctor increasingly confused, so he decided to go to a bar for some fresh air. But just as he took a sip of his drink, he noticed a peanut on the table spontaneously crack open. Before he could make sense of it, he inadvertently saw the mathematician calculating with a pen on the glass window. Seeing this, the doctor immediately rushed outside, but the mathematician had already vanished from the street. Even more bizarre, an old television appeared out of thin air where he had disappeared, broadcasting news from 50 years ago. Suddenly, a child materialized on the ground. It was himself as a young boy. Suddenly, an urgent phone ring pulled him back to reality. What he had just experienced was only a dream. The call was from the hospital. The situation was both urgent and bizarre. Ever since the mathematician had been confined to room 304, he had never come out again. Despite the door and windows being intact, the mathematician had mysteriously vanished. When the doctor pushed open the mathematician's room, he was shocked. Apart from 3 colorful candies left on the table, the entire room was covered with calculation formulas. Had the mathematician truly calculated the number between 3 and 4 and traveled through time-space? It wasn't until he picked up a pen cap that had fallen to the floor that he suddenly recalled a childhood experience, a car accident that occurred when his mother was taking him out. A man was killed on the spot. At the accident scene, besides the man, there was only a marker without its cap and several scattered candies.